Jason threw an absolute blinding behind-the-back bullet.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, what's good? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. I'm your host, Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball. In today's episode, I want to take a look at my all-time Showtime team. So the greatest Showtime players of all time. And just to mix it up a little bit, I came up with some names that you probably didn't expect on this list. But before we dive into today's episode, let's take a look at the sponsor of today's video. This video is brought to you by Manscaped, the global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products. Now, usually we only talk about the basketball on this channel, but Manscaped takes care of a different type of balls. You probably noticed that I didn't promote too many products on my show, simply because I don't want to promote stuff that I don't use. And Manscaped is just great. They offer the best tools and liquid formulations for the big three odor zones: your body, your butt, and yeah, obviously the balls. They recently hooked me up with their Performance Package 4.0, and I gotta say it's amazing. For example, the Lawnmower 4.0. I always had the problem that I could not use my former razor under the shower. But this right here is a waterproof trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology, which basically reduces nicks and cuts on the most sensitive regions of your body. Another cool thing is that the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer has a cordless charging system and these little LED lights on the front to show how much juice you got left. Also included in the Performance Package 4.0 kit are two amazing products you just gotta have: the Crop Preserve for ball deodorant and the Crop Reviver. Simply apply the Crop Preserver after your shower for all-day body odor protection. But we're not done yet. You also gotta check out the Weed Whacker Nose and Ear Hair Trimmer. It's a wireless nose trimmer with the same skin-safe technology. For a limited time, you can get all of this plus 2 free gifts. Click on the link in the description box and get 20% off plus free shipping plus 2 gifts when you use my promo code at the checkout. Manscaped, always use the right tools for the job. Now the first player that I have on my list is Anthony "Penny" Hardaway. Penny Hardaway did not only play for the Orlando Magic, he simply was Magic. When he entered the NBA, many compared him to Magic Johnson. He had the size, he had the flair, and could do things on the court that we haven't seen in years. The one thing that he had on Magic Johnson was that he not only had great handles, but he could also move very smooth and was super athletic. You could be sure that when Penny was on the floor, you would see something special every single game.
Hustle back. Hardaway. Havent. Well, the Anthony Penny Hardaway show has begun.
And the next player on my list is going to be a surprise: Arvidas Sabonis. I wanted to make sure that I hit you up with some players that I haven't featured before on my show, but who definitely deserve to be on this list. When Arvidas Sabonis came into the NBA, he was already 30 and way past his prime. But you could still see that this guy was something special. Never before have we seen a big man with such passing skills. And yes, of course, he was probably one of the first bigs to shoot the three-pointers, but the court vision was always the thing that got my attention.
What I loved about him is he always put a little flair on his passes. It wasn't just a simple pass. It was a hook around pass.
Hooks it to Smith and he lays it in!
And then he give you the wink like.
And the next player that I have on my list is Nick "The Quick" Van Exel. Nick Van Exel was the steal of the 1993 NBA draft and quickly became a fan favorite for the Los Angeles Lakers. He brought Showtime back to Los Angeles and showed that he had a talent for those special moments. If it was his clutch buzzer beaters or his insane passes, Nick would never disappoint. What I always liked about him was his unique playing style, and maybe it was because he was left-handed, I don't know, but one thing was for sure, Nick really had game. And for the next player on my list, I would have to take you guys way back. I got Bob Cousy. The Celtics legend was probably the first player who came up with those fancy things on a regular basis. I mean, there was a reason why he was named the Houdini of the hardwood. If it was his crazy behind the back, backs, between the legs, spin moves, etc. Most of the things he was doing back in those days he came up with. So he was not only very important to the game, but without Cousy, who knows what the NBA would have looked like in the 80s and 90s. And the next player that I have on my list is Strickland. I recently dropped a video about Rod and why I think that he's one of the most underrated players of the 1990s. This man had skills, handles, and a thing for amazing plays. Even when he played against the great Michael Jordan, he would do something spectacular. I mean, just check it out on YouTube. He was super tough to guard and would make passes that came out of nowhere. You should definitely check out my other video to see why Strickland is such a great Showtime player. From Strickland to Pistol Pete and Maravich, so I have to take you guys way back again. He invented so many plays back in the days that I have never ever seen again. It is known that Pistol Pete is probably one of the best scorers of all time because he was dangerous from anywhere on the court, but his true gift to me was his creativity and the joy that he brought to the basketball court. Now obviously with such a list, Michael Jordan can't be missing, but I don't want to say too much, let's just check out the clip.
A program in his honor, and Israeli radio carried his news conference live. Those who played against him are at a loss with the exit of basketball's headline act.
Michael Jordan put style in the game.
Off to the right. Jordan on a drive. Falls down underneath. From the left side.
Jordan, the crowd anticipate.
There's one player that's a perfect 10 that has it all.
Look at the air, look at the hang time, look at the flying motion.
Sometimes I would just stand there and just, I know he's going to do something crazy, so I just stand there and watch.
How high can you get up? Oh, man. We've seen them all, Jimmy.
Jordan.
Oh, my. Ridiculous, that's so good. That's ridiculous.
I've seen him do things that you can't even dream about doing. I've seen him go up on one side of the lane, get bumped, still up in the air, twist the ball, do all this in the air, and laid up on the other side. You can't do that.
And next we'll have Jason Williams, aka White Chocolate. When Jason Williams came along, many compared him to Pistol Pete, and it was easy to see why. He had the skills and he had the so-called passing gift. With White Chocolate, you could see that he really loved the game and it was poetry in motion. He was probably the most creative player in the early 2000s and definitely deserves to be on this list.
And it's Thunderbird off the Showtime pass by Jason Williams.
How did he see him there?
Well, his name is Jason Williams, that's why. He did it again. That situation, Gasol, oh nice. And Jason Williams found Fatty A and tight who rolled it home. And look at Jason Williams. Left Andre Miller in the lurch. Who found Shane Battier.
The Warriors wasted time there, too deliberate. And a nice feed from Jason Williams to Thunderbird.
To Sacramento, up ahead to Williams, watch this.
For the 15th time, Anderson is with Jason.
Fans are going crazy on that move, and the Kings are up 5. Pulls up at the right elbow, hesitates, attacks the lane, feeds Weber, power jam.
Jay Will with 5 seconds, wrap around into Lorenzen. Tough jump hook.
And the next player on my list has to be Larry Bird, aka Larry Legend. Larry to me is the best passing forward we have ever seen. A guy with his size to have this kind of court vision was unbelievable. But it was also always the way he was passing. Again, this was art. Larry was able to make the right play at the right time, but then with style and flair, you just have to love Larry Bird. And the last player on my list is probably also the most obvious one, Magic Johnson, the guy who created the Showtime era in the 1980s. Magic Johnson to me probably is the best Showtime player of all time. Everything he did had style and had flair, and I could watch like 60 minutes of highlights as long as Magic is involved. He would be the captain of my all-time Showtime team.
Magic was the only guy that I've ever seen really throw a no-look pass. Look at a guy, time him, look you off, and then hit that guy on the dime without ever looking at him.
Watch him look one way and pass the other. That is amazing.
Magic became bigger than a basketball game and became more of an event. We just happened to be right next door to Hollywood.
The Magic drives around his man, all the way under. Beautiful pass.
I wouldn't do an hour series in those days because I said I'm not going to miss those games. You just wouldn't miss them, and you'd work it into your contract so you could be free to go.
Still going. Oh! Highlight film. Magic. Are you kidding me?
All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I guess I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.